shared and experienced memories, instances, and throughout their academic years and formative period right now. So we all are connecting here today to understand their process of making. Why do they do what they do? So that's an interesting journey we are going to embark with each artist on the panel here. So we have, this is the fourth segment or the fourth edition of the trigger why I do what I do. So what triggers each artist's work here? That's something very crucial because we are looking at some formative and some like on the go kind of almost mature kind of works. So a mix of both things which are not connected with each other in many ways, but they are in a way a rubric of multiple dimensions. So we will try to find a common lineage if possible and see how in a cubicle in front of us can be put together. So I request Urja to present her thoughts, who is the facilitator of the entire group of Untitled 7. So I ask her to put forth her thoughts, how she came up with this group and what are the commonalities or differences she saw together so that she could bring these artists together. Over to you, Urja.
Hi. The idea for this exhibition was conceived during a conversation I was having with Priyasri, and she wanted in this whole series of Untitled to create a dialogue amongst the artists, um, and kind of bring forth their working processes, how they're thinking in the times of COVID. So what I felt was that while bringing all these artists together, they basically respond to their everyday surroundings, immediate everyday surroundings, and most of their works are like a visual documentation of what they see. And that kind of makes me think that so these narratives that these artists are proposing in their works, they're not something new. They were pre-existing, but during the COVID time, the sites of political, social, economic, or even things related to gender, they've all been normalized. So we have all become so mistrusting, um, and there's a new normal that is created. So I thought that maybe bringing in such diverse practices, we could kind of generate a dialogue about these phenomenons that have been surrounding us and have become kind of a new normal. And that made me think about Satya's work and how it's related to food. And from, hailing from a rice farming lineage, he talks about hunger and how hunger, um, for him, what is hunger, and what is with what is the struggle with food, such a basic necessity. And during this pandemic, this was heightened. We can see the migrant labors, we still see the farmer protests. And later, I think in the same line, you can also see Mosham's work. He directly captures the city around him, and it's a comment on urbanization, and urbanization is the reason why COVID-19 happened. So again, he's dealing with the working class lives. That brings me to Priya's work. Priya also, uh, through enlarging her self-portraits, she kind of presents a psychoanalytical view of how she looks at the society. She looks at the structures of the society. So in a way, she's also dealing with the lives of the working class. That brings me to Mahavir. Mahavir directly captures in his own style, using color as medium and forms that are reminiscent of miniature painting, to talk about how he sees his everyday surroundings. So he visits multiple places and directly engages with their lives. Then Deepika's work was particularly fascinating to me, because she captures the life, the flora and fauna around her, and kind of infuses this element of mystery in what she sees. And that makes me think that what would have been the plight of all these living creatures that we do not think are superior than us, and we are we meddle with their life so much. And while the lockdown was implemented, what would their life be? And there's the sense of mystery in her work. And then Anjali deals with uh, gender, the questions of gender and isolation, and how isolation is very different for uh, a woman and a man, or other genders as well. So all these narratives related to gender are even heightened. I feel it's even more difficult for women in these times. And I thought that through her inner dialogue, Anjali can steer a discussion towards that. Uh, how Mrunalini also goes back to her memories and brings out certain negative and positive points. And I think most of us during this pandemic have been introspecting on our memories, because there's nothing new happening. It's only the screen, and how she plays with light and shade to kind of show these interior isolated spaces stacked with people. And that makes me feel how the experience of this isolation can be lived through her works. Bajju makes Bajju B. Vamsi, sorry, it's his nickname. So so he makes abandoned architectural spaces, drawing his elements from multiple traditions of architecture. For example, Indian temple architecture. There are elements of Roman architecture as well. So his idea is to kind of make it more minimalistic, and that makes me feel that how the space kind of lives on, uh, even if human intervention is not there. And how that space, that empty space, has a life of its own, which we without any human interference in it, even though it's made by humans. But uh, how we can realize that this space has its own life and it's not to be meddled with. uh, so yeah, most of these artists I'm acquainted with their works during my masters at MSU, and I've been constantly in touch with them regarding their practice. I've seen their journeys, so it was a great experience to bring them all together. And yeah, thank you so much. That's it.
Thanks a lot, Urja, for that enriching session and like a elaborate description of why you got everyone all together. We just in the moment we missed out introducing Nikhil and you both. So I would just like Ranjit to do the honors and just introduce you guys for the audiences and everyone. And Ranjit, I hope you're there with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'll introduce Nikhil sir first, our moderator for today. Nikhil sir is a visual art professional working in the field of humanities, actively contributing to the culture exchanges through art administration. He has studied painting as core subject and pursued ancient Indian history to understand the social cultural fabric of ancient civilization. Nikhil works with organizations and individuals to document the art practice and engages with art education to nurture and promote artistic endeavors. We have Urja as a curator for this exhibition. I would like to introduce her. Urja is an art writer and independent curator with a postgraduate degree in art history and aesthetics from the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University, Baroda. Her research focuses on a popular visual culture of India, and unravel sophisticated systems of power that exist beyond these appearances. She's the founder of Gilead Art Initiative, um, an independent curatorial platform that supports a community of young art practitioners and writers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Uh, I'll request Nikhil sir to take it from here. Over to you, Nikhil sir.
Yes. So we begin the entire session with first presentation by Mosham here. So a couple of things which very intrigues, that him belonging to Bihar and then looking at city life, urban anxieties, which many other artists also share, but his way of approaching this idea is fascinating to look at. So I would request Mosham to begin the presentation, and we will continue with a round of discussions with each artist after that.
Hi everyone, I am Awesome. Hello.
Yes, Mosham, you are audible. Please begin.
Okay.
Ranjit,
Hi
could you
everyone.
start the presentation, please?
I'll request Uja to start the presentation. Yes.
Hi everyone, I am Awesome. I did my bachelor's in painting from Faculty of Fine Arts, MS University of Baroda, and in master's in graphics art from Faculty of Fine Arts, MS University of Baroda. I basically born in a small village and then passed to the bigger city. After that, for the basic education like graduations, I came to the Baroda. These are lots of things happening at that time, because as we grow in a small village, there are lots of very less complexity are there. As we grow, we are free of the surrounding. Lots of things are green region. Everything fascinates me. But when I came to the Baroda, there are lots of chaos are happening here. Like Nikhil sir told me that what is the anxiety in my work. So anxiety converting the layering in my work, and that converting into overlapping of the images in my work. The overlapping in my work suggests the layering of information be combined within our experiences and our memories. The layering in the work is an attempt to bring the viewer into my own complicated experience of these places and suggest the complexity of how we came to know a place. I also in my work present how the personal history and the things are connected with us. Like when we go to some places, we have a personal memories. We tie to some places. Like when we go to a chailari, we drink tea, but when we pass from there, we recall that memory at the same time. So I want to Urja to go on the first work. So here it is the concrete jungle. I want to talk about this work. These have the lots of layering of the images. Like in this present situations, we are living in the concrete jungles. Means we can't see lots of trees here, but we see nowadays lots of buildings. So it's converting into a tree, large long tree converting to large long buildings. So this is the concrete jungle we are living in. Next work. Here the title is In the Search of the Golden Year. Means in search of the golden year, I have taken this from the golden years, is taken reference from the Ramayana, where the Rama ran away for the golden year. So it's a golden year is some kind of dreams. We came to the city for like we can fulfill our dreams, but not so many people are going to fulfill their dreams. It needs lots of hard work. So for city, for me, is like in search of golden years. We came here in the city to fulfill our dreams. Next. So this title of the work is I don't know when it disappears. It talking about my birthplace. I usually when I visit my birthplace, I used to sit there and spend time with my friends. But after 4 to 5 years, when I went there, they are not the forest disappeared. I used to sit there and talk lots of things there. So I have grown there. So lots of memories are there attached with that thing. But after 4 to 5 years, when I went there everything is changed out and the factories are set up there. So it's kind of thing like I don't know when it disappears. I don't know about that thing. The place which have attachment and the memories all went together. Next. It is something like one day while passing by, it is something when I roam around the city, what I see mostly and things. So I just depicted the same things which I mostly capture and observe the things. So it is the representation of our outside surroundings. Still holding the rope is talking about the like I told you that we are tied to something places, and the places have certain memories. So here I am holding the rope of the horse. It is like the connected to my birthplace memories where there is a horse stable and 52 horse stable are there. So when we used to go there, we recall the same thing every time, like when we step by step growing elder, and it is like something for us gathering places there. Means all the friends, they are studying in the different places and different countries also. So when they come together, we used to sit there. So it is like something uh, still recalling the same every again again. So it is like saying still holding the rope, not of the horse only, but it is tied to the place and also the capturing the same memory again and again. Next. I don't know where to play. Here I've depicted the uh, it is called Langri Tang in my mother tongue. So we used to play the same thing on the roadside, but here the lots of apartments are here. I haven't seen those guys are playing everything, this kind of things like that. So I've seen Minsky, the places we used to play there are now converted into apartments in the building. So I'm saying that I don't know where to play. Now I have to search where I can play. But as I was growing, like 5 to 6 years old, I don't have to search the places to where I can play. I just go roam here and there. I can play anywhere I want. But now I have to search the place for playing. I have to go to the park, which is conducted and constructed by the government or anybody like that. If they have planned something, you have to play here. But at that time, we don't have to search the places to play. We are free to play anywhere. Like we have the lots of vast land and free land are there like that. This work is titled Leave Us Alone. This work I have created in Gujarat after the um, farmer strike was that in 2017-18, like that. So here I've depicted the in the lowest rows, uh, like the farmers have digged their graveyard and standing there like they don't want to live anymore and they want to die. Actually, this was happening in the Bhavnagar, Gujarat, where farmers are striking against the government policy. Like the government wanted to make some factories and highways and lots of things that construction want to do. They want to acquire the land, but the farmers told them that I don't want your factories and the land. Governments are also offering the jobs, but they told I don't want your jobs. We are the boss of our own land and we are free to do anything. So we don't want your job. This is like leave us alone, Minsky. We are free, leave us alone. I don't want you anything, just go away. And the same thing happening in the Rajasthan at that time. People are digging their graveyard and standing there and they're protesting against that thing. Here in the right side lowest corner there is something like the Chinese protest thing happening. So I've taken lots of images from different contexts and combined all those things here. And the same time, we can see the protests going on of the farm in the Delhi and all over the India. So lots of things connected from the surrounding and basically I'm commenting on the urbanization. Due to the urbanization, these are protests are going on. That's the thing. Next. This is the mirage. Mirage is something like what we see that appears, but it resembles that kind of thing. But when we go near to that thing, it doesn't looks like that thing. So it is the mirage, which is the comment on the city. When we see far from the city looks very glamorous and very interesting. But we go inside the city, we live there, we found it's very difficult to be there. It's not like that. We see the glamour is there, but it's very difficult for me, in my opinion. That's kind of thing. It is something like the Roman passing through the Roman gallery. It is basically kind of it's came accidentally in my work. Like one day I was studying about the Roman gallery and the artistic class was going on. So I just created this work on this way. Next.
Yeah. Thank you, Moshe. So I would like to begin by commenting over here that we find a very significant reference in the literature of Munshi Premchand about rural and urbanization anxieties and the overall social fabric post while also in colonial era as well as post colonial era, due to unawareness of many things and different social structures or power structures which were especially there. So in many ways, these losses, what you are commenting on, or the points you are kind of making through your work, there is also an observation that you are present in some of the works. You
Yes.
are making your icon presenting over there, and it doesn't have an eye over there. So, what is the marker of that idea?
It means lots of time I didn't make eye. Means the eye doesn't seems means I'm not looking there. It
Mhm.
likes I'm looking my inside eye. I'm looking my inside thought and I'm saying some kind of in the same works I'm what I'm doing. I don't make eyes. I don't like to make eyes in some work. Means the eye is something like we try to focus on something. When your eye is closed, you focus on yourself, in your inner mind and something like that. So I want to represent that things in the work. I am still holding the rope. The eye is not there. It means like that I'm recalling my memories. I'm going through my inside and talking about my experience and my like observation, that kind of things.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, can you further elaborate? Like, do you refer to a general idea of urbanization, or do you have any connections which specifically relate to your upbringing and your the native where you belong to?
Actually, it's totally my personal experience. What I feel. Actually, I love the green land and the forest, that kind of thing. So when I see in Baroda, lots of the means not a planned urbanization when happen, I really feel disturbed me. Like I want urbanizations to be happen, but it should be in a planned way. And there must be some place for the greenland also, the spaces also. When it will be planned, I like the urbanizations. I don't have a problem really with the urbanization, but it should be in the planned way. That kind.
Right. Right. So you primarily highlight on the sustainability factor over here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, there is no a common element, or rather, each artist's practice is diverse. So, we will be arbitrarily going through each presentation or asking questions to each artist, and then cumulatively towards the end, try and see whether how they fit into or juxtapose them into a collage of practices together. So, I would direct my question to Anjali here. So Anjali, right. So your works has been significantly directed with imagery of gender-based ideas, and
Yes.
there is a sorry, yeah. Right. So there is a combination of surreal elements and also personal connotations to the pictorial elements. So I would ask you the question that how do you bring these two ideas, which are in a way different categorically, being surreal and also the elements of personal lived or uh, known or observed elements about gender-based ideas. So how do you refer to this, and how do these ideas come into your work?
Okay. So yes, yes. The notion behind my representational work, an expression of some incidents which happened to my mother and my grandmother. So I basically represent those ideas and the organs forms which I have developed by myself. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
could you elaborate like how these elements come together? Like, is it a kind of a academic lineage you look at, or how these graphic elements, which are of a very dark nature in this? So how do you bring these together? If you could elaborate on that.
Yeah. So basically, I try to merge the landscape view and the organic forms, like feminine forms.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically my personal related to my personal life as well, and there are some forms related to my grandmother and some incidents like which I have faced and my grandmother faced. तो बेसिकली मेरी ग्रैंड मदर और मेरी मदर का काफी इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है मेरी लाइफ में. तो मेरा इंस्पिरेशन भी वहीं से है, जो ऑर्गेनिक फॉर्म्स. और बेसिकली ऐसे कि मैं डायरेक्टली ऑर्गेन फॉर्म्स डिपिक्ट नहीं करती हूँ, उसको उसको डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने की कोशिश करती हूँ, यानी कि बहुत एग्जैजरेट कर देती हूँ. जैसे कि आप इस इमेज में भी देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे भी कुछ बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनिक ऑर्गेन्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं, लेकिन बहुत डायरेक्ट इमेज नहीं है, राइट? So this work is titled Running Out of Time. Actually इस वर्क में मैंने सिर्फ यही दिखा है, एक लैंडस्केप वे में उसको मर्ज करने की कोशिश किया है, और जो ऑर्गेन फॉर्म में मैंने डेवलप किया है, और यहाँ पे खुद का सेल्फ पोर्ट्रे भी किया है. मतलब कि कहीं ना कहीं कभी ना कभी हमारे हाथ से टाइम एकदम तरीके से थोड़ा.
Right. Okay. Yes. Can we see some more images? So Anjali, overall, your treatment also in each work differs. So हर एक काम में जो बदलाव नजर आता है वुडकट के ट्रीटमेंट में हो, तो वो बदलाव किस वजह से आते हैं और कैसे आते हैं? और आपने कहा था कि इस पर्टिकुलर इमेज में आपका खुद का भी रिफ्लेक्शन है, सो वो इमेज कैसे आता है वहाँ पे?
एक्चुअली एक हर मीडियम का एक अलग पॉसिबिलिटी होता है. लाइक एचिंग में हमें डिफरेंट इफेक्ट मिलेगा, ड्राई पॉइंट में अलग, एंड वुडकट में अलग. तो वही चीज मैंने एक्सप्लोर करने की कोशिश की है यहाँ पे. तो ये बेसिकली ये बड़ौदा की सराउंडिंग से रिलेटेड ही मैंने बनाया, और कहीं ना कहीं एक सेल्फ आइसोलेशन और उस तरीके से इसको रिप्रेजेंट करने की कोशिश की है कि एक इनर डायलॉग खुद से ही चल रहा है, राइट? कि किसी एक अलग सिटी में आप आए हो, देन उसके बाद बहुत सारी चीजें बदल गई हैं.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Anjali. While looking at these personal anecdotes, I will further like to draw attention to certain architectural responses which Bajju Vamsi finds here. I request Urja to bring his work on screen. Yes. So Vamsi, as we were discussing the earlier also well, so the idea of architecture and there is a sense of minimalism to your work. So how do you put these elements together, like, and also there is a sense of used and rugged feeling to it. So how do you combine these elements here? And why
my work is, for me, architecture is not just an element which we live in every day. It's like an important, it plays an important role where a memory or an experience is created. So I chose it as a language of expression over there.
Okay.
So the rugged and rough feeling is to give the essence of the past. Right. Though actually, if you see ruins of any Indian temple or any ruined architecture, it's been in that journey to become that raw and rugged. But in this, I made it purpose, like to make it look like a experience of the past, because a rust is always an element of past. So that's why I rusted the works.
Okay. So you have chosen the element of steps here and a minimalist cube-like shape. So what are these indicators of?
The journey between those construction and the destruction. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm taking a single architecture and converting into the work. It's like different elements from architecture. For example, in this work, the stairs come from random places. It's like I refer as a different situations in our life where we don't have any beginning or the starting. It just comes and goes.
Right.
It's mostly something, sometimes few things won't end. It just stays over there.
Okay. Right. So considering that this is a kind of a formative phase of your work, so how do you foresee your work to evolve in near future?
I'm actually, right now I'm experimenting in the works. I'm experimenting with the forms, I'm experimenting with the mediums.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still searching. Yeah, I'm still in the search of the possibilities in my work right now.
Right. Okay.
So these works I'm like experimenting still, because the architecture is a very vast subject. It can't be understood in very few time.
Right.
So it takes me time a little bit. So it's like I never stuck with one element or one form. I would like to see more possibilities. I like to experiment more possibilities.
Right.
So right now I'm taking it to, it's like a journey for me.
Right. And how do you relate with the use of material? In earlier it is the iron sheets you are using, and here it is the wood. So what is the idea between these choices of the medium?
There's no particular idea as a choice of medium. I had an idea with the metal ones, because to give that rest, to that rugged feeling. So wood, I wanted to make it a construction, like it's been constructed. It's not made. This wooden work, the dilapidation, it's been constructed like brick by brick. So I've chosen the wood because it was a little bit convenient for me to make this work possible.
Okay. So thank you, Baju, for the insight to your work. I will direct my next question to Deepika here. So Deepika, her work, I am personally, I'm fascinated by how one shifts the place or a residential space, and also the academy which one have been trained for 4 years, and eventually when they go into a new academy, what are the transitions that happen? So I would ask Deepika to share her experience of the evolution or the shifts which has occurred after learning in Mumbai and eventually going to MSU, and what are the pictorial shifts and also as well as thought processes which have changed as part of your academic learning.
Yeah, hi. Yes, am I audible?
Yeah.
यस मैं मुंबई से हूँ और मेरा बैचलर्स पेंटिंग मुंबई से हुआ है, और मुंबई का जो डायमेंशन था वो काफी क्योटिक और काफी हार्श और फास्ट लाइफ था। और उसके बाद मैं जब यहाँ बड़ौदा मूव हो गई, मुंबई का जो काम था, जो मेरा अर्लियर वर्क था, उसमें काफी सारे लाइक देयर इज नो ब्रीदिंग स्पेस, एंड बिकॉज आई कुडंट थिंक अबाउट लाइक के किस तरह से। तो व्हेन आई मूव टू बड़ौदा, जब मैं बड़ौदा आई और मैंने यहाँ पे देखा यहाँ का नेचर, एंड आई स्टार्टेड विजिटिंग फॉरेस्ट, नेचर प्लेसेस, और उस तरह से मेरे काम का जो इवोल्यूशन हुआ और मेरे काम में जो ब्रीदिंग स्पेस आया और कुछ फॉर्म्स चेंजेस हुए, तो उसी तरह से लाइक मुंबई का जो हार्श और क्योटिक लाइफ था और यहाँ आने के बाद जो पीसफुल लाइफ मैंने देखा। दिस इज स्मॉल सिटी बट अगेन देयर इज अ स्पेस, आई गॉट स्पेस हियर, और उसी तरह से मेरे काम में बहुत सारा चेंजेस आने लग गया। और इसी तरह से यस हमारी जो प्लेस होती है, हमारे जो आसपास का सराउंडिंग होता है, ये हमारे काम में काफी ज्यादा रिप्रेजेंट होता है। यस हाँ, so the yes ये वर्क, so this is etching aqua tint. Yes, so this work, yeah, this monkey previous work. हाँ, so जिस कैंपस में या बड़ौदा कैंपस में मैंने देखे बहुत सारे मंकीज, यहाँ बहुत सारे लाइक मंकीज है और काफी काफी ये लोग स्पीडी है, काफी क्रेजी, बहुत ही कम सेकंड्स में ये लोग एक्शंस और इन लोगों के रिएक्शंस बदलते हैं। तो मैंने ये चीज ऑब्जर्व करना शुरुआत किया यहाँ पे, जो मुझे ये सारी चीज मुंबई में नहीं दिखाई दे रही थी। मुंबई में काफी लोग थे और काफी मतलब काफी सफोकेटेड सारी चीजें थी। बट हमारे कैंपस में लाइक एमएस यूनिवर्सिटी के कैंपस में फैकल्टी में ये सारी चीजें मैंने ऑब्जर्व की। और ये सारी चीजें नेचर और या एनिमल्स, बर्ड्स, ये सारे काम ये मेरे काम में पोर्ट्रे होना शुरू किया मैंने, दिस बर्ड। अगेन यस, जब मैं मतलब मैं विजिट करती हूँ, मैं नेचर में रहती हूँ, तो मेरे पास मेरी डायरी होती है हमेशा, और मैं कुछ लीनियर ड्राइंग्स और मैं पोएम्स लिखती रहती हूँ। तो ऐसे पोएम्स है कि फिर जब लीनियर ड्राइंग्स होने के बाद मैं स्टूडियो में आने के बाद I work on these images with different mediums. I experiment with mediums, inks, etching, relief.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Pooja, is there a video you would be playing for her? Deepika, would you like to share insights about this particular video piece?
Videos, okay. यस, ये जो वीडियो है ये बड़ौदा के आसपास जो विलेजेस है वहां पे मैंने शूट किया था। और हाँ, और वही जो नेचर लाइक डिफरेंट शेप्स, डिफरेंट 1000 कलर्स, 1000 डिफरेंट शेप्स, ये सारा चीज मैं ऑब्जर्व करके मैंने ये काम ये क्रिएशन किया है।
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Deepika. I'll direct my next question to Mahavir. महावीर, आपके ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस से और काम के जो आप जहाँ पे आप रहते हो, आपके फैमिली कनेक्शन हैं, उसके जरिए एक लेबर कम्युनिटी है उनको और उनके धारणाएं जो हैं, अलग अलग काम को देखने का नजरिया है, इनसे प्रेरित होकर आप जब काम करते हो तो आप मटेरियल का चुनाव भी वास्टली मटेरियल लेते हो और एक डस्टी और म्यूटेड कलर्स में आप काम करते हो, तो ये प्रोसेस के बारे में आप क्या बताएंगे?
हेलो सर, मैं अपना वीडियो सॉरी चालू नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि मैं अभी फार्म में हूँ और थोड़ा काम था तो बीच में मैं अपना टाइम नहीं होने।
जी जी, कोई
हेलो।
बात
तो सर मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ मेरे काम के बारे में कि पर्टिकुलरली मैं जब बैचलर्स में एमएसयू फाइन आर्ट्स में था तो मोस्टली ज़्यादातर वर्कशॉप जैसे कि कोलाज का वर्कशॉप था, मिनिएचर का वर्कशॉप था, तो ये वर्कशॉप से काफ़ी कुछ चीज़ें मेरे काम में इन्वॉल्व हुई है। जैसे कि कोलाज के वर्कशॉप में कुछ पैटर्न्स है, कुछ ऐसे फॉर्म्स है जो हमने कोलाज में यूज़ किए थे, वो धीरे धीरे मेरे काम में ऐड होने लगे। और मिनिएचर के वर्कशॉप से लेके खास करके मेरे जो गांव विलेज का जो डस्टी वाला और एक ऐसा एरिया से जहाँ पे मोस्टली कलरलेस आप कह सकते हो और मोस्टली सब घर बहुत डस्टी डस्टी और एनवायरनमेंट ऐसा है कि तो मोस्टली ज्यादा सीमेंट की वॉल्स है, ईंटें है, तो ये चीज और ये फ्रेग्रेंस को मैं अपने काम में डायरेक्टली पेंटिंग में लेना चाहता था। तो मिनिएचर के वर्कशॉप से मुझे पता चला कि कलर को कैसे ग्राइंड करते हैं और कैसे कलर को पेंटिंग में ला सकते हैं जैसे नेचुरल पिगमेंट्स को। तो उसके बाद मैंने ये सीमेंट है, खड़िया है, कुछ नेचुरल गली कलर है, उस सब कलर को मैंने ग्राइंड करके पेंटिंग में सीधा लाने की कोशिश करी। उससे थोड़ा मेरा ज़्यादा अटैचमेंट था, जो फीलिंग्स मुझे चाहिए थी वो मुझे ज़्यादातर पेंटिंग्स में आ रही थी। तो मैं ये चीज़ काफ़ी हेल्पफुल रही मेरे काम में एक तरीके से। और मोस्टली मैंने अपने सराउंडिंग, अपने गांव और विलेज के लोगों के साथ रहकर उनकी लाइफस्टाइल को ऑब्जर्व करके उनके कुछ थॉट्स को मैंने देखते हुए उन चीज़ को मैंने ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कनेक्ट करके उनको पेंट करने की कोशिश की है। तो बेसिकली ये कमाटी बाग का जो ड्राइंग थे वो मोस्टली एक पीपल्स वहाँ पे बैठा हुआ था और जस्ट मैं उनका बहुत सारा ड्राइंग्स किया था। उसके बाद लास्ट में मैंने एक लिथो पेंटिंग्स किया और उसके बाद उसका मैंने उसके ऊपर वाटर कलर किया था। सो मैं ऐसी चीज को देखता था जो मेरे सराउंडिंग, जो लोगों के सराउंडिंग होती है, बट जिसमें भी मुझे एक ऐसे लोग जो अपने आप में हीरो रहता है, भले वो एक एजेड है या फिर कोई भी नॉर्मल पीपल्स है, बट मेरे हिसाब से वो एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग और एक अलग ही उसका कैरेक्टर्स होता है। तो ऐसे लोग ज्यादातर मैं चूज करता था और मुझे काफी उसमें इंटरेस्टिंग चीज लगता था। तो बेसिकली ये कमाटी बाग का एक पेंटिंग से मैंने वहाँ ये लिथोग्राफ सेकेंड ईयर, हाँ ये मेरा फादर का एक कोलाज है, मैंने 2 साल पहले उसको पेंट किया था। ये लास्ट टू लास्ट ईयर का काम है। सो माय फादर इज टेलर एंड मैं उनका काफी उनके काम से इंस्पायर्ड हूँ, जिनके उसका पैटर्न्स में काम करना, उनके डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कम्युनिटी के क्लोथ को टीचेस करना, बुरखे टीचेस करना या फिर तो वो सब जो क्लोथ उनके सराउंडिंग जो रहते थे उनका मैंने फोटो शूट करके उनको मैंने प्रिंट करवा के उनका एक कोलाज बनाया था। तो ये पर्टिकुलरली उसी कोलाज का एक पार्ट है।
राइट। तो ये सरफेस का चुनाव आप किस तरह से करते हो? मतलब आपने कहा था कि पेपर का महीन लेयर्स बना के आप कोलाज की जो बात कर रहे हो और पेपर्स का लेयर्स का भी इस्तेमाल करते हो, तो उसको उस प्रोसेस के बारे में थोड़ा बताइए।
मैं समझा नहीं सर।
नहीं, आपने कहा कि ओवरऑल जो वासली ट्रीटमेंट भी कर रहे हो और कोलाज का भी इस्तेमाल करते हो आप।
हाँ 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 हाँ।
पेपर अलग अलग लेयर्स आप लेते हो और कलर का
ओके।
भी ट्रीटमेंट आता है, तो उस
या
प्रोसेस के बारे में जरा बताइए।
ओके। तो पर्टिकुलरली मुझे एक सरफेस जैसे कि इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए पहले मैं उस सरफेस पे सीमेंट है, खड़िया, उस पिगमेंट को मैं वॉश करता हूँ। उसके बाद जो भी एनवायरनमेंट में कुछ ऐसे रिपीटेशन फॉर्म है जो बार बार रिपीट हो रहे हैं या मुझे वो बार बार रिपीट चाहिए, तो पर्टिकुलरली उस चीज को मैं कोलोग्राफ प्रोसेस है, जैसे कि ग्राफिक्स में ऑप्शनल मेरा था तो कोलोग्राफ प्रोसेस काफी कुछ हेल्पफुल हुआ है। और वो ऐसा है कि जो विविंग क्लॉथ रहता है एम्ब्रॉयडरिंग वाला, वो क्लॉथ को मैं इंकिंग में उसके ऊपर इंकिंग करके उसको मैं वसली पे उसका प्रिंट लेता हूँ। और उसके बाद जो भी मुझे ड्राइंग या पेंटिंग ऐड करना है वो लास्ट में मेरा रहता है उसका परफेक्शन। तो यहाँ पे पर्टिकुलरली जो पैटर्न्स आप देख रहे हो, जो ये रुदाली वाला पेंटिंग्स है, उसमें मैंने जो जाली का नेट्स और पेंट को किया है वो बेसिकली कुछ ऐसे ही ब्लॉक टाइप का बना के उसका राउंड और छोटा वाला राउंड, और जो सरफेस है वो सीमेंट का सरफेस है। और एक कॉटन, एक फार्मर का फैमिली था, उसके घर पे कोई एक्सपायर्ड हो गया था, सो बेसिकली ऑल लेडीज ग्रुप में बैठी हुई है और बीच में जो लेडीज है उसके हस्बैंड एक्सपायर हो गए, सो वो लोग उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं और बीच में जो लेडीज है वो बहुत अपसेट और बहुत रो रही थी। सो उसका घर के ऊपर का जो पूरा फ्लोर था उसमें कॉटन भरे हुए थे, तो वो सब कॉटन को मैंने वहाँ पे रिप्रेजेंट किया हुआ है और वो एनवायरनमेंट को मैंने लाने की कोशिश की है।
ओके ओके। महावीर, एक सुनने में भी अच्छा लगता है कि आप अभी खेत में हो। ये लोग अपने अपने कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, अपने अपने घरों में, शहरों में जो रह रहे हैं, उनका नेचर के साथ जुड़ाव बहुत कम है। बल्कि आप काफी अच्छा लगता है कि आप काम भी कर रहे हो और आप खेती के एक्टिविटी से भी जुड़े हुए हो। सो आपके गांव के लोगों को आपके काम देख के कैसे लगता है? उसका कोई एक्सपीरियंस है, आपने शेयर किया है कभी उनके साथ?
हाँ, मैं अपना काम मोस्टली जो पीपल्स का मैं काम या उनका कैरेक्टर्स या कुछ ऐसी चीजें होती है स्टोरी जो मैं ऐड करता हूँ, तो उनको पर्टिकुलर मैं दिखाता हूँ फोटोग्राफ, तो उनको काफी कुछ अच्छा लगता है। बेसिकली उनको काफी कुछ कलर से बहुत रिलेट करते हैं, उनका इतना समझ नहीं है, फिर भी उनको एक कैरेक्टर समझ में आता है कि हाँ ये आदमी है और ये हाँ इनका घर है, यहाँ ये लेडीज ये है और ये सीमेंट वाला वॉल या सीमेंट वाला घर इसका, तो उनको भी वो चीज सहन में आता है और समझ जाते हैं। तो वो चीज मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है कि जिसके लिए मैं जो पेंट कर रहा हूँ वो लोग तो समझ ही रहे हैं और काफी कुछ उनसे अच्छा नया नया पॉइंट मुझे को उनको उनके तरफ से मुझे जानने को मिल रहा है कि हाँ ये चीज यहाँ पे वॉल ये सब सीमेंट वाला वॉल गांव का ही लग रहा है, यहाँ का ही कुछ आजू बाजू का ही है, तो ये सब चीज वो मुझे बताते हैं।
ओके, थैंक यू महावीर। अगला सवाल मैं मृणालिनी से पूछना चाहूंगा।
ओके, थैंक यू।
तो मृणालिनी, आपके काम में ओवरऑल जो देखा जाता है कि जिस तरीके से स्टूडियो प्रैक्टिस और आपके नागपुर का जो एक्सपीरियंस है, ये सारा बहुत ही महीन तरीके से आपके काम में आता है, आपके प्रिंट्स में आता है। सो उस बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे? सो वो ये जो डार्क लेयरिंग है और हर एक प्रिंट में एक अपना अपना अप्रोच अलग है, बट लाइट एंड शेड का भी सिग्निफिकेंस उतना ही आप मानते हैं। सो उसके बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे? मृणालिनी, आप अपना ऑडियो अनम्यूट कीजिए प्लीज।
ओके, सॉरी या ओके, सॉरी। हेलो, अभी आ रही है आवाज?
आवाज कम है मृणालिनी।
ओके ओके ओके, एक मिनट, अभी आ रही है?
अभी भी थोड़ा कम है। अगर आप ईयरफोन्स यूज कर सकते हैं तो अच्छा होगा।
अभी ठीक है?
हाँ, अभी साफ आवाज है, प्लीज बोलिए।
ओके ओके ओके। एक्चुअली बेसिकली मैं नागपुर से हूँ और मेरा बैचलर पेंटिंग में था, तो मीडियम वाइज और बहुत कुछ चेंजेस आ गए और प्लेस भी चेंज होने के बाद कॉन्शियसली सब कॉन्शियसली बहुत कुछ चीजें ऐसे बैक ऑफ द माइंड थी कि मतलब लाइक रिप्रेजेंटेशन कैसा होना चाहिए, देन एक्सप्रेसिव कैसा होना चाहिए, तो बहुत सारी निगेटिव पॉजिटिव ऐसे थिंग्स है कि मैं कैसे उसे एक्सप्रेस करती हूँ, कैसे लाइक कंपोज करती हूँ मेरे काम में। तो मुझे लाइट और डार्क स्पेस बहुत डिफाइन करने में मुझे बहुत हेल्प होती है और जो भी मैं एलिमेंट्स यूज करती हूँ वो मेरे डे टू डे लाइफ से बहुत इंस्पायर्ड है। लाइक जो भी प्रेजेंट में अभी है और जो भी पास्ट में हो चुका है, तो लाइक वो बहुत हेल्पफुल है मेरे काम के लिए।
ओके, सो ये ज्यादातर आपके काम में जो लो की रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, डार्क शेड्स का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, तो उसके बाद उसका बेसिस क्या है और क्यों इतना डार्क थीमेटिकली और कलर के हिसाब से भी आप ये वेरिएशन जो है
एक्चुअली बहुत कुछ चीजें बहुत ऐसे ब्लर में है कि उसे मैं बहुत क्लियर करने के लिए, और जब तक वो क्लियर नहीं हो जाती है तब तक वो लाइक डार्क ही है, और समटाइम्स इट्स लाइक निगेटिविटी, इट्स प्रेजेंट लाइक निगेटिविटी। एक्चुअली मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में भी जो वो है और मेरे वर्क में भी वो रिप्रेजेंट होता है, तो उसी से इंस्पायर्ड है डार्कनेस, और इसीलिए मैं थोड़ा कलर में काम करना अवॉइड कर रही हूँ।
राइट राइट,
लो की प्रिपेयर करती हूँ।
okay okay, yes. Thank you Mrinalini. I will direct next question to Priya now. So Priya, there is a
Am I audible?
Yes Priya.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a significant use of Freudian theories as well as metaphorical representation in your work, and you make it a point that you yourself are also part of your works in some ways, in pictorial sense. So so how do you go about it?
Sir, actually earlier I haven't read about the Freud theories, and I try to incorporate the surrounding elements in my work. Could you please switch to second work, Urja? Yeah. This one, this image I saw on the web, I was really inspired by the image, the village image. And in this, I represented myself as dreaming of that village life. I want to go in that. So I'm sleeping and dreaming. So this was initial work. This is a reference taken from web. Initially, this is my first woodcut. And about the theories, later when I joined Gadi Studio Lalit Kala Academy after my bachelor's, then I read about the unconscious mind, subconscious mind, and how conscious mind plays role in our daily life. So I tried to know about myself in that context, that how my subconscious mind and how the needs, feelings works in our daily life. So I try to incorporate that in my works. This is a recent work where during the lockdown I prepared the layout related to this. So I'm remembering my childhood memories. There are objects on the below. Some of the objects like logs. When I was a child, I really liked to play with the blocks. So I represented that. This is basically upon the childhood days that I'm remembering my old days. Next work, Urja. Yeah, this work was when I was in Delhi and was about to go to Baroda. In this, the phase of my life is little bit depressed and being isolated, and here dead fishes are shown as a metaphor which represent as negative thoughts grappling me, and I'm looking in the sky. It's shows the hope that some day it will get all over. So and the left side symbol I made by myself, that represents the sexual desires which every person or as a woman have. The left symbol, yeah. So there is a half cut apple also that represents the same thing. And the wall, I create a wall of myself that nobody, I really don't, I'm a very introvert kind of person, and I don't allow people to enter into my life very easily. So there is a wall on the I mean बहुत आगे जो wall दिखाई हुई है, dark wall, that represents the line between the outer surrounding and the inner self. So in this way I use the symbols in my work. Next, yeah, this is the initial work. I linked my surrounded, but I'm a Delhi person, so there is a lot of pollution that time. It was a 2017 work, and in the same way I just related to my life that sometimes our mind gets also polluted. So I may not able to breathe because of that negative thoughts. So I just try to make a contrast between these two, the surrounding and the inner self. In this, it is also related to the city life. Like, for example, it is a very busy life in Delhi, and we are not able to interact with our family members even because of busy city life. And when I was a child, my mother and my father both are working, so I used to write it, Mama ye kar lena, Mama wo kar lena. So we used to interact with each other through paper. So there is a scroll on the sixth image, and these are different plates. It's a dry point work, and these are different plates I prepared, 5 by 7 inch each plate, and I printed these all 8 plates on one paper together. So everybody is busy in their own corners, like windows. Yeah, this is also the representation of womanly sentiment, that melancholic state and desires. There is an arc which is presented as a symbol of entrance of something new in our lives. And there is a man standing on that arc. That means somebody will come to my life. So I represented that even. And I try to make a contrast between the landscape and the diary. From outer, the life seems very calm and very simple, so I presented a simple calm landscape, but on that there is a little diary kept over that landscape to represent there are a lot of things going in our inner life. So diary represents a lot of emotions, feelings, desires, and I'm really fond of writing diary at night, so I represented there. This is a work when I came to Baroda, and I got separated from my family. And sometimes situations come in our lives when we don't want to face the world. So here I have shown the legs instead of showing the portrait. So it represents that the person who is lying is not doesn't want to face the world. So I represented the portrait at the back of the mirror, and there is a diary and there is a mirror which represents my inner feeling, the emptiness. And there is a darker portion there and an empty chair that represents the solitude, or you can say the loneliness.
Yes. Thank you, Priya. Like, in fact, this kind of gives me an insight that how we all the artists are connected is through common references of banality, working methods, going to work, and how people share communications in different formats, and which eventually get reflected, and we can. Yeah, we can say that it's a collective memory that we are looking at, or a shared memories, or there are templates of things which one can look at in urban cultures, as well as the other artists who hail from smaller cities or villages, and their reflection of urban anxieties together. So I think it's a interesting mix of things which kind of uh, build a thread through all the works of the artists who are presenting here. So I move on to Satya to ask about his practice here. So Satya?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, Satya, you are very clearly audible. Yes. So what I notice in your work is that there is a sense of what you can call it to be a reference to personal memories in a certain way, which is based upon migration, and also reflecting back to your own life. जो आपके काम के पहले के काम जो आपका माइग्रेशन हुआ है, सिटी बदला है, तो उसके आधार पर आपका काम बदल रहा है, तो वो जो शिफ्ट्स हैं और आपके काम में रिप्रेजेंटेशन जो आता है फूड के रिलेटेड और फूड रिलेटेड जो एंजाइटीज है, भले ही वो टेम्पररी तौर के हो या फिर एक इकोनॉमिक कंस्ट्रेंट से हो, सो वो रिप्रेजेंट आप किस तरह से करते हो?
Actually, I did my bachelor's from Andhra University.
Right.
In Visakhapatnam. Actually, मैं basically एक small village से हूँ, which is called Narayanpuram in Andhra Pradesh. पहले मैंने आंध्र प्रदेश से बड़ौदा आया था, तो ये बहुत दूर था मेरे लिए, ये बहुत दूर था। तो इधर फूड, आंध्र प्रदेश का फूड बहुत डिफरेंस है। यहाँ पे ज़्यादा रोटी खाते हैं, वहाँ पे सिर्फ राइस खाते हैं ज़्यादा। तो पहले मैंने बड़ौदा में जब आया था तब बाद में बहुत स्ट्रगल किया था फूड को लेके। लाइक एक्चुअली मेरा मंथली 3,000 मेरा भाई ने भेजता था, तो 1 महीना तक वो चलना बहुत मुश्किल है। लाइक मंथ एंड में बहुत स्ट्रगल होता है फूड को लेके, मतलब वो जो सस्ता में मिलता है वो खाना पड़ता है। तो उसी का तरह से मैंने तारस यूज किया, मतलब वो उसका साथ मेरा फूड का कैसे प्ले कर रहा हूँ, मतलब वो कैसे ले रहा हूँ वो फूड को, तो उसी का मैंने मेरा काम मत दिखाया। वो तारस को भी बाहर का फूड भेजता है ना, तो उसे उसी का तरफ से मैंने यूज किया था उसको।
Okay, okay.
एंड दिस इज माय एक्चुअली मैं मेरा मेमोरीज को भी यूज किया। पहले मैंने खाना को कभी कभी गुस्सा में फेंकता था भी, तो अभी कितना वैल्यूबल है वो राइस। अभी वो खाना के लिए कितना स्ट्रगल हो रहा है हम बाहर आके, तो वो मेमोरी में जाके भी मैं सेल्फ रियलाइज बाद में कैन यू नेक्स्ट।
Yes, Satya, we can hear you. Go on.
नेक्स्ट दैट बाहर अभी फूड कैसा मिलता है, वो फूड को कभी कभी कुछ चीज देख के वो फूड बहुत खराब भी दिखता था। वो सस्ता मिल रहा है, वो खा रहे हैं हम, बाद में लगता है इतना ऐसा फूड खा लिया, हमको हमारा बॉडी पार्ट्स कितना खराब हो रहा है। मतलब हमको बॉडी पार्ट्स को लेके, मतलब अंदर से वो फूड कैसा प्ले कर रहा है तो हमारा बॉडी को लेके। तो इसमें मैंने स्केचबुक में पहले वो स्केच करता था, एक फॉर्म निकला था, वो उसी को लेके टेक्निकली मैंने इसको प्रिंट मेकिंग टेक्निकली एचिंग्स को लेके, कलर एचिंग्स को लेके एक थोड़ा डेवलप करके इसको इमेज बनाया था।
Right.
And these are multiple color etching which आंध्र यूनिवर्सिटी में ये मतलब मल्टीप्लेट यूज करता था यहाँ पे, लेकिन वहाँ पे मल्टीपल कलर, एक कलर का बाद एक कलर यूज करके एक ही प्लेट में यूज करके निकलता था। तो टेक्निकली मैंने ये फॉर्म को निकाला।
Okay, okay. Yes, thank you, Satya. So it's interesting to see how artists are using different mediums here and customizing their thoughts and manifesting them through their works. Perhaps one can look at the idea of Anthropocene to be significantly evident throughout the works, where human interference with nature or over domination of nature with human interference is causing more anxieties to humans themselves than nature. Of course, it is evident that how it is affecting nature significantly through the climatic changes and everything we are witnessing. So while we all are facing the struggles and being artists and also cumulatively trying to make peace and evolve as humanity, I would begin by congratulating all the artists to being able to put up this struggle and also to visualize and pictorially present them. So yes, so I congratulate everyone, and I open the platform to all audience interactions here. There are already some questions which we can start by addressing, and I request if there are questions from the audience members, if you'd like to ask them directly, we'll do it in a short while after we take some of the questions from the chat section here. So to begin with, Mosam has a question. Dear Mosam, your work is almost a documentation of current times, but as a layman, when I look at the work, I would not understand this, what you described. Your work is very inspiring. Why an artist not be explicit about his intention that he wants to highlight? This question is for Nikhil, Urja, and the artist. Okay, I think I would like to keep the gun on shoulder of Mausam here.
Actually, I really didn't understand the question. What are you trying to say? So can you elaborate what the question?
Yeah, I think उनको कहना ये है कि आर्टिस्ट जब भी आप रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं तो वो डायरेक्टली क्यों नहीं बोलते हैं, जो उनको कहना है वो क्लियरली क्यों नहीं बताते हैं. सो हमेशा एम्बिग्यूटी का रेफरेंस आता है.
क्या होता है ना कि वी आर आर्टिस्ट.
जी,
वी आर आर्टिस्ट. अगर हम डायरेक्टली बोलेंगे ना तो मजा नहीं रहेगा. जैसे आप कोई चीज को बोलते हो ना तो डायरेक्ट बोलने में, और कला किसे बोलते हैं? किसी चीज को अपने तरीके से रिप्रेजेंट करना, वही तो कला है ना. कला में एक रिदम होता है, लय होता है, बहुत सारी चीजें को ऐड ऑन होने से वो कला बनता है. अगर आप कुछ बोल रहे हो तो बोलने का वो तरीका जो होता है ना, तब वो जाके वो कला बनता है. जैसे कविता किसे बोलते हैं? हम सब तो वही होती है जो हम बोलते हैं, बट उसमें जब रिदम आ जाती है ना तब वो कविता बन जाती है, सॉन्ग बन जाता है. तो बस वही चीज है. अगर हम डायरेक्ट बोलेंगे तो आपको अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, गोली मार रहा है तो फिर तो एवरीबॉडी इज
राइट.
सब तो वही देख रहे हैं ना. फिर हम क्या दिखा रहे हैं? आर्टिस्ट इज समथिंग शोइंग हिमसेल्फ. उनका विजन क्या है? वी आर आर्टिस्ट. तो हम अपने नजरिए से जो चीजों को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं ना, वो हमारी कला है. दिखता तो हमें नेचर में सब कुछ है, बस वही.
हालांकि हम अखबार पढ़ते हैं जिसमें डायरेक्टली लिखा जाता है काफी सारी चीजों के बारे में. हम आर्टिकल्स पढ़ते हैं, हम अलग अलग रिसर्च आउटकम्स पढ़ते हैं, तो उनमें सीधा सीधा लिखा होता है. बट काफी बार होता यह है कि वो पढ़ने के बाद भी भले समझ में आ जाए, बट वो मतलब बात जो लिखा है वो समझ में आता है, बट मन से समझने या फिर उसको काम में हमारे एक्शंस में उतारने के लिए बहुत वक्त लगता है. आर्ट के जरिए ये जो इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर है वो बढ़ जाता है. सो इसलिए वो लेयर से मेटाफर्स का इस्तेमाल करके प्रेजेंट करना वहाँ पे जरूरी हो जाता है. Yes, I hope that answers the first question. Would you be interested in adding to it? Urja? Okay, I think we shall go to the next question. Okay. The next question is directed to Anjali, and it's about, she spoke about the medium you refer to, etching and woodcut, which you choose according to what you do want to express. Can I elaborate on that? So medium के choices के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं यहाँ पे. How would an etching be different in emoting an emotion? So medium का चुनाव से एक्सप्रेशन कैसे बदलता है? आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या है? उसके बारे में उनका सवाल है. अंजलि?
I think Anjali also just logged in. She must have mistake and.
Okay, Anjali, if you can say something, I'll read out the question again for you.
I think we don't have her with us for now.
Fine. Okay. So we will move on to the next.
Maybe we take this question later. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Please remind me if I miss that. Okay. There is a question which is meant for me, and rather in reference to Deepika. How the surroundings affect the thought process of a person. It makes me wonder how in ancient Indian students were aren't to gurukuls in the forest for education purpose. It was very scientific. Yeah, okay. So I think she's trying to present different education systems here. Yes, now we are living in different lifestyles and different learning methods also. And of course, the comparison, whether it is valid or not, how do you customize those experiences or learning methods? It is very complex to comment in a simple session, or in a simple statement in a short session. Perhaps it's a longer discourse, but one can simply look at that when we speak about different learning methods and different learning systems, the effect and the processes will be significantly different. Now, if we can think of an example here, like one is limited in a certain space, like even the example of Gurukul here, one is learning by consuming the atmosphere as well. It is not that one is just going to the premises, learning and exiting the premises. Perhaps that engagement would bring in a different outcome altogether. So even in the urban context, we as students in schools, we develop a kind of sense of emotion or attachment towards the building and the space we have lived in. I think there are very many complicated layers to look at, and one cannot respond to this in just a few sentences. Okay. Yes, Deepika, would you like to add in here?
No, this is enough. Good enough.
Okay, great, fine. Mahavir ke liye agla sawal hai. Your works are very sensitive. I have a question that is, when you went to study in urban space and left your village, that started valuing and appreciating sensitive issues, objects from your rural background. If, for instance, if you never left the village, would your work still talk about the same stories? Mahavir, yeah, it's a repetition of the same question. Okay. So, Mahavir, आपके लिए सवाल है. काफी बार ये ऐसा आता है कि अगर हमारा जगह बदल जाता है, तो हमारे अपने खुद के जगह को देखने के तरीके बहुत अलग-अलग तरीके से बदल जाते हैं और हम सेंसिटिव हो जाते हैं उन मुद्दों के तरफ. सो महावीर, आपका क्या कहना है इस बारे में? Is he connected? I think we have lost him. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yes, Meher?
Yeah, I think we have lost him.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Probably a connectivity issue. Anyways.
Yeah.
So this is a typical question which gets generally asked, and I also personally find it that people coming from smaller cities, like people, something that I have observed in artists coming from smaller villages or spaces, like somebody coming from Nagpur. Generally, I have observed with artists from Vidarbha region that the moment they are in the city of Bombay, in most cases for doing their masters at JJ School of Art, and I have noticed that what they start relating is that they are referring to the labor class whom they observe around, the labor class while they are commuting through the railway, the local trains, and that becomes a significant element in their work. So perhaps that starts addressing them. Whether it makes them sensitive towards their own native place and in what way, I think it's again up to the artist to look at and respond further. But of course, one does anytime, any moment, one does value what they have left behind. And nostalgia and memories are things which we all value. I would like to insight and response from Mosham here.
Yeah, it's actually true. Like when we come from some other places and when we move to other places, we have lots of memories from the past. And like when you were saying someone is living in the, like Mahavir works when he was living in the village and then coming to the Baroda. So like sensitivity of the villages he is carrying because he lived there for past 22 years, 23 years. So lots of memories he was carrying and experience also is carrying to the new cities. So if he didn't move to the cities, so he living in the same village, same thing. So I think he maybe draw something else. So it is true he can change, he can shift to the any other subject also.
Right, right. Okay. Thank you, Mosham. We move on to the next question. Yeah, it is to Priya. Have you ever related to Kafka? The expansion of elements and especially the self-expansion, like an inner image of self being expanded. out, makes me think of him. Metamorphosis.
Yeah,
Yes,
I heard about that novel, Franz Kafka, I think,
Franz Kafka. Yes.
the metamorphosis. But I haven't read that, and I never imagined to relate with that. But yeah, on the other context, I haven't read the novel. But the thinking is same to the gradual of self-portrait and the figure I try to incorporate in my work. It's basically just looking my life on my own. So like the thinking was same, but I haven't referred to that.
Right. Yeah, as we all living on this planet have patterns of lifestyles, right? I think that makes the correlations kind of more mimicking in some ways, that or people observe those references in some other context, and that makes the whole discourse interesting. Thank you, Priya. Okay, the next question is to Urja. So Urja,
Yeah.
would you like to respond to it? You have selected very interesting artists. Can you describe what was your criteria? I think the basic thing you have done, but if you could reiterate on it.
So basically, as I talked about, I was looking at how they capture their mundane life and how, see, these are diverse practices. And to bring together so many artists also in the first place, you can't find a common thread which would directly link to their work. But what I found very interesting was how everybody is responding to very immediate surroundings around them, and that kind of I felt that would act as a visual documentation of a particular lived time. So even when you see Priya's The Invisible Poison, that particular work of art where she's wearing the mask, so how that kind of narrative can be brought is relevant even in today's time. So Delhi pollution is the same, and now on top of it we have coronavirus. So similarly, like there are so many works like Satya's work. So my idea was to bring about these narratives that exist in a diversity, like they are all there present at the same time, and they impact us all in different ways. All these narratives that are brought by the artist, they impact us all, but we consciously or unconsciously, we have become so used to it, so it is so normalized to see these political social disturbances around us. So I wanted to delve into these kind of dialogues that are now ingrained in us in a way due to this COVID-19 pandemic especially.
I want to add, this is Priyashri Patodia. Sorry, my camera is shut for the moment. I'm working on it. I'll put it on in the end. I just want to congratulate Urja for selecting such brilliant minds and artists. And, the kind of artists which will come out of this period of pause will actually reflect a lot of truth. And like I keep saying that, they will add beauty, and beauty doesn't mean something pretty, but something which is very honest. And an artist actually plays a very pivotal role. He's an illustrator, he's an interpreter. It's how they see the society, and the disparity which is there. But like somebody, I think Mosam said that the artist presents everything he has to say in an implicit way, so that he's not hurting anybody's emotions or not hurting any religious sentiments, but yet he is able to speak the truth in a beautiful way. So Urja and all the artists, congratulations, it was beautiful. Thank you. Over to you, Nikhil, again.
Thank you. There is a very typical and critical question being asked. Of course, it is not the space to discuss here. Art education, is it necessary? Perhaps we all get educated, whether we intend or not. Yeah, our parents, right from feeding us, begin educating us. So whether we learn craft or how we learn it, and there are many complex things here. Yeah, like we can keep saying that about everything is complex, but in terms of education, If one speaks about formal education, is it necessary? The type of systems what we live in, the social structures what we live in, it has become necessary for a formal education is acquired. Perhaps it saves time, one can say, but also makes us illusioned about many things. And hence, many great artists have always mentioned that we need to go through a process of unlearning once we are out of the academics. Perhaps if one keeps that in mind, that we need to go through an unlearning process, that will help everyone. And with this note, I would like to bring the discussion to a conclusion. The first morning session of the discussion with the first set of artists of Untitled 7. I thank all the team members of Priyashri Art Gallery and Urja for facilitating this, and all the artists who have patiently engaged with conversations, engaged with me throughout the phone calls which we engaged, gave insights to their processes, which is an unusual thing to notice and also experience. So and especially the audience who have been connecting consistently. So I thank all of you, and yes, over to you, Meher, Priyashri.
Yes, I want to thank everybody. I want to start by thanking Mr. Nikhil Purohit for always supporting our gallery, and these webinars have actually created a lot of inquiry and inquisitiveness in people, places, artists, curators. People have been writing to me and saying that, you know, we should continue even after the series is over. So congratulations. Thank you, Meher and Ramsha. Ramsha is been working behind the scenes. She's not present now. And Meher, like you know, is going to be getting married. Congratulations. We hope both of you will be connected to the gallery. Thank you, Harshada. Thank you, Rohita. Thank you, Ria. And if I've missed out anybody, please forgive me. But thank you each and everybody who've been working behind the scene. It's only because of a behind the scene team that things like these actually manifest. And I just want to add, you know, something which I learned that, you know, through these exhibitions that these exhibitions have been featuring selected works from young artists practicing in different parts of India. Their works are not, they are not just works, but they are a reflection of social, political milieu they inhabit. Rather, they are often a critical perspective through the practice and questioning existence of today. Also, they possess a vulnerability which arrives from sensitivity displayed towards the precarious existence and uphold the values of uncertainty. But besides, beyond this uncertainty is something which we all have the potential to go through this and come out victorious. So I wish each one of you that you all emerge stronger and happier in times to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Priyashri. Thank you, Nikhil. Thanks, Urja. Thanks all the artists and all the participants and the audiences for joining with us today. We hope to see you guys again for the 5 o'clock session. And I think we can end here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Nikhil.
Thank you.
Bye, Urja.